All right, hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. This is Rudy. Hey, I just want to record this event for posterity and all of history, just like Dietrich Bonhoeffer, in the days when Hitler was rising to power and doing all of the things where Hitler told the German church, you deal with theology and let me handle the people. And so if you guys don't know who Dietrich Bonhoeffer is, I suggest you check him out. But today I reached out to First Baptist Church in Dallas. It's led by a man by the name of Dr. Robert Jeffress. He's wrote a book called Twilight's Last Gleaming. I think he's authored many more books as well. It actually talks about him authoring 18 books. So he's an author of 18 different books. He is the senior pastor of a 10,000 member congregation in Dallas, Texas. If I read on his website, it says that he is currently leading the Dallas congregation on a $130 million campaign to recreate a downtown campus. The project is the largest in modern church history and will create a spiritual oasis in the heart of downtown Dallas. And then it goes on to speak about Dr. Jeffress graduated from Southwestern Theological Seminary and all of his other degrees that he has attained in his life. And he also has over 600 guest appearances on Fox and Friends, The O'Reilly Factor, Cavuto, Good Morning America, The Early Show, and CNN's MSNBC, as well as others. 600 different appearances on, nationwide television programs. And I've heard him speak a few times, and I was very impressed, to be honest with you. He spoke up against what Islam is and said that it's a danger, right? But I reached out to, he has a phone number for event coordination for his church, and I reached out to him in hopes that he would stand with the constitutionalists and the birthers in light of the fact that Sheriff Joe Arpaio has recently came out with hard evidence indicating that birth certificate is a forgery. And my expectation was that, given that, Dr. Robert Jeffress is a spiritual leader in our community, that he would understand what's going on and he would draw the correlation between, what happened in the times of Germany and what's happening now, and that he would want to give his support and endorsement. And we could maybe even use his church facilities to have a constitutionalist and birther gathering. So I wrote him a letter and I sent it in, and I won't use any real names, but I want to read you the response, and I just want you to know the shape of the modern day Christian church. Now, I could give you a lot of personal commentary after it, but I'll try to refrain myself as much as I possibly can, and I'll let you make your own conclusions. But I wanted to record this video so that we have something somewhere in a public forum that has recorded the response that I got from First Baptist Church, led by Dr. Robert Jeffress, and you just draw your own conclusions from the response. Okay, here goes. I'm going to read it verbatim, and I'm not going to use the real names because this is a representative of the church. And my point here is not to trash Dr. Robert Jeffress or to trash the event coordinator that responded back to me, but to simply record accurately their response so that as history goes on and we go, deeper into the 21st century, that we'll have a recording of the modern day church and one of the most powerful churches in the Dallas area and what they had to say about Obama's ineligibility. Dear Mr. Davis, thank you for your recent inquiry about holding an event here at First Baptist Dallas. We are grateful for your encouragement about our pastor, Dr. Jeffress. Dr. Jeffress has a bold biblical approach to preaching God's word, and we all appreciate his courage to take a stand for God's word. I am familiar with Sheriff Joe Arpaio and his cold case posse's investigation into President Obama's birth certificate. Unfortunately, I am sorry that we would not be able to hold an event related to this topic at our church. While Dr. Jeffress has taken public stands on many important conservative issues, those issues have all been specifically related to moral and theological topics and not political ones. Our desire is to impact our culture for Christ through the clear teaching and preaching of the Bible. We will continue to be a beacon of God's light to our city and our nation by standing up for important moral issues that the Bible addresses. But the question of whether President Obama has a valid birth certificate is either a political or a legal question, not a theological question, and is therefore outside the scope of our ministry here at First Baptist Dallas. Thank you again for taking the time to contact us, your servant and his. And then it mentions the name, but I won't say the name. Okay, that was a very well-written response, and they didn't have to respond at all, did they? They could have just completely ignored me. Who am I, right? And so I do appreciate the time that they took to respond. But basically, because I'm a very simple person and I like to boil things down to the simplest form, he's basically saying it's not Dr. Robert Jeffress' job. It's not my job. You just take all of that, right, and just boil it down. 4 words. It's not my job. It's not my job. It wasn't Terry Lakin's job either, right, to take a stand for righteousness. So, in any event, it's not my job. I wonder if when we're standing in Judgment Day, standing before our Creator, if that'll be a valid excuse. When we see evil going on, and when God has revealed it to us, you think the Lord will accept that? It's not my job. It's not my job. Okay, I said I was going to limit my personal commentary. Listen, the little that I have seen of Dr. Robert Jeffress has been very impressive. I am disappointed, and you can make your own judgment on the response that I got. But I wanted to record it for all of history and all of posterity. God bless every one of you, and have a great day.